Hi everyone, this is the beginning of a new series in which we will cover Greco-Roman and Norse mythology as detailed in Edith Hamilton's Mythology, Timeless Tales of Gods and Heroes. Now the first episode today will be relatively simple as we'll just be talking about creation, of the world, the gods, and the heroes. So let's talk about creation. In contrast to most other religions or belief systems, the ancient Greeks believed that rather than a divinity creating the universe, that the universe had created the gods, first creating heaven and earth, Uranus and Gaia respectively. Then from the heaven and earth came the Titans or elder gods, and from the Titans came the gods that we are going to be focusing on today. So let's talk a little bit about the gods and how they ended up ruling the world. As Hamilton outlines, the Titans or elder gods were for untold ages supreme in the universe. There were many of them, but only a few features in the stories of mythology. Preeminent among the Titans was Saturn or Kronos, the lord of time. He fathered the three most powerful gods, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Kronos, who had taken power from his own father, ate his children upon learning that one of them would eventually overthrow him. Then there was Ocean, the river that encircled the earth, and Tethys, his wife. Next we have Hyperion, lord of the sun, who fathered the sun, moon, and dawn. We also have Mnemosyne and Themis, memory and justice respectively. And finally, we have Iapetus, who fathered the Titan Atlas, who held up the sky, as well as Prometheus, the savior and benefactor of mankind. The Titans ruled for a long time, their reign ending when Zeus caused the overthrow of Kronos, banishing the other Titans and taking the throne for himself. When Zeus took control, he and 11 other gods became the 12 Olympian gods, named as such because of their home on Olympus. Now this part is likely to be important, so if you miss anything, be sure to rewind the video. When the three brothers went to divide up the world, they drew lots for three domains: the underworld, the seas, and the skies. Zeus became lord of the skies. Armed with the lightning bolt, it seemed that his power outweighed all the divinities together. While Zeus is known as the most powerful god, he is often easily deceived, as shown in the Iliad by both Hera, his sister, and Poseidon, his brother. Zeus is not faithful to his wife and is often represented as chasing from woman to woman while still trying to hide his infidelity. However, he is grand and represents moral righteousness. These two contrasting images, the high and low of his persona, both coexisted for a long time. Some of the symbols for Zeus in mythology include the Aegis, his shield with Medusa's head on it, the eagle, and the oak tree. Poseidon, or in Latin Neptune, was lord of the seas and the earth shaker. His wife, Aphrodite, was the daughter of Ocean. He is recognized for having made the first horse. Poseidon was inferior only to Zeus, and while he had a palace under the seas, he often chose to inhabit Olympus instead. Some of the symbols for Poseidon in mythology include the bull, the horse, and the trident. Hades was an Olympian and eventual ruler of the underworld. He was lord of the dead and god of wealth that was beneath the earth. He was terrible but just, not often seen on Olympus, often preferring the underworld, with only the company of the dead and his wife, whom he had kidnapped previously, as company. He had a helm that made the wearer invisible, and represented him well: dark, terrible, and inexorable. While Hamilton considers Hades to be an Olympian god, others often replace him with Demeter, as he doesn't often reside on Olympus. Hera was the wife and sister of Zeus. She was raised by Ocean and Tethys, and she was the protector of marriage, and she cared for married women. While she is described as pleasant, when details are provided, she is often petty, vengeful, and spiteful. Only in one story is she represented as a protector of heroes. In the others, she is unpleasant. Nevertheless, she was revered in every household in ancient Greece. Some of the symbols for Hera in mythology include the cow, the peacock, and the city of Argos. Pallas Athena, or Minerva, was the daughter of Zeus. In the Iliad, she is bloodthirsty and warlike. In other accounts, she is only warlike in the defense of Greece. She was the goddess of the city, protector of civilized life, handicraft, and agriculture. She was Zeus's favorite child, who carried his Aegis as her shield, his thunderbolt as her weapon. She was the chief of the three virgin goddesses, and she embodied wisdom and purity. Some of the symbols for Athena in mythology include the owl, the olive tree, and the city of Athens. Phoebus Apollo was the son of Zeus and Leto. Known as the most Greek of all the gods, he plays beautiful music on his lyre, shoots far with a silver bow, and is a teacher of the healing arts. He is the god of light, and no falsehood falls from his lips. He is the one who speaks at the oracle of Delphi. Apollo is also known as Delian from Delos, the Lycian, and the Smithian. There were two conflicting sides in him, one kind and warm-hearted, the other cruel and merciless. Some of the symbols that represent Apollo are the dolphin, the crow, and the laurel tree. Artemis was the twin sister of Apollo and one of the maiden goddesses of Olympus. She was the lady of the wild things, huntsman in chief, and the protector of dewy youth. While Phoebus was the sun, she was the moon, called Selene and Phoebe. In later stories, she is Hecate, having taken three forms: Selene in the sky, Artemis on the earth, and Hecate, the goddess of the dark, of the moon. Some of the symbols for Artemis in mythology include the cypress tree and the deer. Aphrodite was the goddess of love and beauty, who in the Iliad was the daughter of Zeus and Dione, and in later myths rose from the sea. She is weak in battle, but her beauty is known to ensnare even the wisest of men. In some myths, she is the source of all beauty, in others, her beauty is a malicious force. She is the wife of the ugly god of the forge, Hephaestus. Some of her symbols include the dove, the myrtle tree, and the swan. Hermes was the son of Zeus and Maia, and he was graceful and swift in motion. He wore winged sandals, and his helmet had wings too. His staff, the caduceus, wore wings as well. Hermes was the messenger of the gods, and he flew as fast as thought to do Zeus's bidding. He was also the shrewdest and the most cunning of all the gods. Before he was a day old, he had already stolen all of Apollo's cattle. He gave Apollo the lyre in apology. Hermes was also the god of commerce and the market, as well as the herald of the dead, who led the dead to their final resting place. Ares was the child of Zeus and Hera, and the god of war. While he is widely hated, in the Iliad, heroes often embrace the delight of Ares' battle. While he himself is a coward who roars with pain and runs away whenever he is wounded, he has multiple followers on the battlefield who inspire warriors with confidence and strength. He is accompanied by his sister Eris and her son Strife. The goddess of war, in Latin Bellona, walks beside him, and with her are terror and trembling and panic. The Romans worshipped and liked Mars far more than the Greeks did Ares. To them, he was never the whining, cowardly deity, but rather magnificent, redoubtable, and invincible. Some of the symbols for Ares include the vulture and the dog. Hephaestus was the god of fire, sometimes said to be the child of Zeus and Hera, other times the child of Hera alone, born from retaliation against Zeus for having Athena. Hephaestus was ugly and lame. Some stories tell of his deformity by saying that Hera threw him from Olympus upon seeing his ugliness, other stories saying that Zeus threw him for defending Hera. Hephaestus was the god of the forge, and he made the gods' weapons and armor. On Earth, he was regarded as one of the patrons of civilization, along with Athena. Hestia was the sister of Zeus and the goddess of the hearth. Like Artemis and Athena, she was one of the virgin goddesses of Olympus. She was well loved on Earth, and she was worshipped before and after every meal. It is said that the fire in her temple never goes out. And with that, we conclude our first installation in this series. We hope this helped you out. See you next time.